To rock around that tight on time and tricky.
Yeah, welcome one. Yeah, it's the NFC North phone sessions. I am your host, Russell Wayne, and it is a special Thursday right here. It is my wife's birthday for one, and I am now a grandfather. Sorry, anybody that was wanting to come on yesterday. Yeah, I got to hold my granddaughter for the very, very first time, and thank you for watching. And thank you for being part of NFC North phone sessions. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions news, Bill the Packer fan page, Detroit Lions villain squad, Mike the Bear fans, NFC North main event, as well as the YouTube pages. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being an avid football fan. And that's what we're doing here each and every day, because it's June 29th, guys. It's June 29th, and we're here talking about football. And if you're watching, I appreciate that. And Mike has been waiting patiently on the line. How are you doing, main event Mike?
I'm doing good, man. And I think avid doesn't even describe it. If you're on here talking about football on June 29th, you are ravenous. You are ravenous.
Stop playing with us.
Oh, it is such a good day. It's beautiful out, other than the fact that we can't breathe the air in Detroit. I mean, we're feeling pretty good. Yeah, Darcy had sent down some of that Canadian love to us, so now we can't breathe the air down here. We want to say hello to Alyssa. How are you doing? Thank you for watching. Thank you to Tina. Hi, Tina. How are you doing? Good morning, everyone. And Tina says that she is a Lion fan, so she is a smart person. Happy birthday and congratulations. Thank you, Tina. Sounds like Tina's very nice, and she has a great taste in football teams. Happy birthday to the wifey. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for watching. Oh, and Van Ness is on. God bless you and your granddaughter. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes and the love for my granddaughter. It is such an amazing feeling. You were correct about that, Mike.
Yes, I told you.
It was amazing. Like, just in the man. The words can't describe that, and I apologize to anybody. I don't want to make this all personal. We're here to talk about football, but I am proud of my granddaughter, and I'm proud of my daughter for, doing such a good job. And yeah, this is such a good emotional time. And I don't even feel like talking smack, Mike. Can you do all the smack talking for me?
Well, a pretty strong female contingent on today. It sounds like Tina, Alyssa, and Vanessa. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I threw something out there to see if there was any female Detroit Lion fans, and actually I threw that out there for all the fan bases, and yeah, there are some. There are some.
You didn't catch my smack talk there, and Vanessa.
Stop playing with us.
I'm a little slow, man. I got. I apologize. I got to get main event Mike in here. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Main event Mike on the line. There it is. It's on there. But, talking NFC North, we were going over the stuff this morning, and there's really just not much going on as it comes to like brand new stuff in the NFL. There's tragic news. The tragic news of Ryan Mallett, who was a Michigan quarterback, passing away, drowning. That is, the thoughts and prayers go out to their family. I mean, that's devastating. That's devastating. So I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
Do you remember Ryan Mallett?
I do. A very tall, was like 6'8" quarterback. Played for the Patriots.
Cannon of an arm. He was he was a starter at Michigan, and then Lloyd Carr retired, and they brought in Rich Rodriguez, and he's a drop back passer. And of course, Rich Rodriguez was into the RPO and then that different style of offense. So Ryan Mallett transferred back home to Arkansas, where he finished out, and he was finished 7th in voting, actually. And he continued his career after the league. He did get drafted, had a short stint in the NFL, and then after that, he went on to be a successful high school coach in Arkansas, and was on vacation with his family in Destin, Florida, and tragically drowned. So our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to all of his fans and family. Just a tragic loss for such a young man.
Yeah, that is it's crazy. It's just, life is precious, on the one end. I'm celebrating my granddaughter being born, and it can be taken away just as easy. So be careful out there, people, especially when you're out there on a boat. You've had too many or whatever. I mean, I know that I'm not saying that that's the case or anything like that, but just be careful out there, everybody.
Well, I think that's a good call out when you consider the upcoming holiday weekend. A lot of people going out of town, a lot of people going to be on the walk. Ryan Mallett can serve as a cautionary tale. No matter how big and strong you are, Mother Nature's bigger and stronger.
Yeah. Yes. And on a good note right here, but I want to throw some awareness out there to the autism awareness, and our page did the Blue Sky Experiment. My wife and I's page put out a little article on the exploring the positives of ABA. So if you know anybody that has autism, it would be worth exploring ABA. So I wanted to put that little shout out there, and a shout out to WTH is Autism, which is a great resource to learn about autism. And moving on to the thoughts of the new helmet. We don't want to talk about the thoughts of the new helmet, so I was going to go ahead and just skip right through that part. And you can go ahead and promote Monday night, Mike. Would you please?
Oh, every Monday night, broadcasting live into Facebook, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's the NFC North Open Mic, hosted by yours truly and produced by Russell Wayne. We talk smack. We bring all 4 fan bases in. We talk serious football, but we also do a little trash talking as well. Bring your thick skin. Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the NFC North Open Mic.
Excellent job, Mike. I love how you do that. And now we're going to move on to something, because we can't find anything to talk about. We have this fan So it's probably recording me anyway, saying all this stuff, but we do have an internet problem right now. Do I not have internet?
Plugging the NFC North open mic probably didn't even get heard, but that's okay. We're there every time. They'll find us.
They will.
Detroit Lions training camp, July 22nd. They've announced also that there will be 4 practices open to the public. Go down to Allen Park and see the Lions practice. And they have scheduled scrimmages against the New York Giants and Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is cool. I don't think that we're hooked to the internet still, Mike. Hold on, let me. All right. Now, hopefully, no, it didn't go through that last thing. So let's go ahead. And it looks like I am live. I hope I didn't lose everybody right there. I did throw, here's a link to NFC North, the huddle. And that's where we're going to get some of our content for today. And we wanted to ask you a few questions as it pertains to this. I have a couple pictures right here. So this is a group that you can join. It's a private group. It's a don't get your feelings hurt kind of group. And so let's throw this in here first, because there's a lot of people that want to self-promote themselves. This is Robert Major. He says, every Slackers fan in the fan base hates me. I'm the #1 troll in this group. I own you clowns. Y'all really hate me. I'm loving this. And then David right underneath of him says, who are you again? All right, so I'm just putting you on blast, Robert. I mean, I know that you think you're well known within this group, but it looks like you had 67 people that were just commenting that nobody really cares or nobody really hates you. You haven't done anything for us to hate you, Robert. We actually like you. Thank you, Robert.
Did you say Robert?
Robert Major. He's a top.
Sounds like a Richard.
He's a Viking fan, so I'll go right there. So he is wearing a Viking shirt. So I wanted to put that extension out there. We're live 5 days a week, and the Vikings are more or less outside of Jamez in witness protection. So just because you pound the keyboard and talk tough on the keyboard in our fancy group, I mean, why don't you come on here, get a pair, come on here and debate us and tell us why the Minnesota Vikings aren't going to be trash. Why isn't Minnesota going to lose all 6 of their division games because they're the worst team in the division? Even though you won the division and you can hold that, but you got too much badness happening to your team. You lost too many players. And now,
but they are who we thought they were.
You know, we thought you were trash last year and you got lucky and won the division. Nice point differential. All right, let's move on. We're getting nowhere.
Can I expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, I figure I've already lost all the viewers, so there we go. But talking about the Vikings.
Well, I mean, the Minnesota Vikings are a plus 3,500 on DraftKings to win the Super Bowl. And honestly, Vegas has given Minnesota way too much love. Regular season wins for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm pulling that up for you right now. They lost 7 starters, Russ. 7 starters.
Right.
So how could Robert or any of these Minnesota Vikings fans think that, you know, they're going to repeat the performance of last year when they had 8 come from behind victories? They had 11 victories by 1 score. You just can't duplicate those kind of things. That is a fluke. And right now, the over-under for the Minnesota Vikings is 8.5. I am going to jump all over that under 8.5 at plus 110 on DraftKings. I'm going to put $100 on that right now.
Wow.
Minnesota Vikings under 8.5 in 2023. Give me a break. Brian Flores is a good defense coordinator, but he doesn't go out there and make tackles. He doesn't rush the passer. Yes, they've got a good offense. They've got a very good offense with some very good pieces, but you don't lose Dalvin Cook and get better. That's just not going to happen. So there it is. Over under 8.5. Minnesota Vikings. Let us know in the comments what you think of that line.
I love that call. Yes, put that in the comments. Are you whether you're a Minnesota Viking fan or not? I mean, over or under? It really 8.5. I think I may go up there and grab some of that. I don't see how they can do it. I don't know. Tina says
they won 13 games. They won 13 games last year. They come back this year and the over/under is 8.5. Okay, I'm definitely going on. Vegas knows this team is going down too.
And then Calvin steps in, says, "Nah, I'm still here. I think that you must be a Viking fan because I think that I was just kind of trashing on you right there, and you're still there. I appreciate that. Really, stand by your team. The Lions have stood by a lot of really, really bad Lions teams through the years. We don't believe that this is going to be one of them. We actually feel good about our team for once in our life. And if your team is going to go be bad, I mean, stick by your team. I appreciate that, Calvin. I appreciate the comment too. Keith says that the Bike Queens suck. All right. There we go, Keith. I mean, I would think that 3/4 of this fan base would agree with you that is on this show. Tina says the only NFC North team that is going to win this year is the Detroit Lions. Thank you, Tina, for your comment and your enthusiasm. Ken Fisher says, my opinion, final standings, Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, and then Green Bay in the basement, says Ken. What do you think of Ken's comment, Van Ness? Van Ness says, I love you, Tina. All right. I don't, wow. Okay. See, that's what we do. We put the love connections together here. I mean, we do it all on this show. We will not be constrained. Oh,
but
wow.
He used to play quarterback.
Do what?
Yeah, he used to play quarterback.
Did he score 4 touchdowns in one game, Michael? Oh, we're moving on. We're going to move on before I lose everybody here. All right, that's all good.
Van Ness is probably Uncle Rico. I can throw this football over that mountain.
I bet you he could right there.
It's my quarterback.
So I got a picture up right here. I think this is this Tom Novans? Who ends up having a better career? Money Mitch Trubisky or all you need is love? Love is all you need. I think that's a great question. And it's a good comparison of QBs too, don't you think?
Yeah, I have more faith in Jordan Love than a lot of other people. I think the kid is really talented. He's sat for a long time. It's make or break for him. Not like Mitch Trubisky, who was thrown into the fire to play on that parking lot in Soldier Field with a half-ass team. And Mitch Trubisky still took his team to the playoffs, okay? So They ran him out of town. He had way more success than Justin Fields ever had in 2 years. Sure, he had a better team around him, but I have more faith in just Jordan Love than that. I think Jordan Love will be a good quarterback, and the Green Bay Packers are going to remain relevant. I think they finished second in the division this year with the Minnesota Vikings in the basement.
Yeah. So looking at these comments right here, Dallas says Love. So thank you for your comment, Love. Put a vote for Love. Tina says Mitch Trubisky. Ken also says Mitch Trubisky all day. We got 2 votes for Mitch Trubisky already. And you know what? Mitch Trubisky had a lot of hype coming out. And really, they're the same type of quarterback. You know, you got a little bit of mobility. Utah, you're coming from Utah State. You're coming from a small school. People kind of looked down on that when he came out. Mitch Trubisky didn't have a lot of experience when he was coming out. So the parallels are there. But I do believe in some of what you were talking about, Michael, when you said, you got to sit behind a Hall of Fame quarterback. You got to learn the system. It's not like they're teaching this kid how to play football in Green Bay. I mean, he's been there. He's been running the practice squads. He's been working with these number 2, number 3 receivers who are now their number 1 and number 2s. So I think his ceiling can be reached immediately. There's not going to be a curve. You're going to find out what Jordan Love is immediately. Week one.
Let's never forget that the Chicago Bears passed on Patrick Mahomes to draft Mitch Trubisky. And I think that alone it is enough reason for Bears fans to vote for Jordan Love in this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, in Mitch Trubisky, I mean, I don't know. He backed up Josh Allen. I mean, I thought that he played pretty good there. So I think the jury's still out on this on Mitch. If he gets another shot, I could see him having a resurgence, kind of like Geno Smith somewhere down the road, 2-3 years down the road. Sean, thank you, Sean, for the comment and saying, bro, Lions are going 12-5. Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
I like that a lot. I love that call. Keith says, Money Mitch. Money Mitch right there. Keith.
Stop playing with us.
Man, you're making some enemies. I don't think that Keith really cares, though. Keith loves being right in the middle of in the thick of things right here. Van Ness says, I heard that when the Packers signed Van Ness, Mike started sweating and he said, no, he will kill Goff. Is that what you said?
That is not what I said at all. I think that we got a guy named Taylor Decker and another guy named Penei Sewell that makes me sleep easy at night, knowing that Jared Goff will be protected from a rookie from Iowa.
Right. And I'm going to echo that too, Van Ness. I think for you to expect him to just come in week one and deal with one of those top 20 tackles in the NFL, he's going to get a welcome to the NFL. You got a learning curve, man. I know that you changed your name to Van Ness, but he looks pretty good in the gym so far and he's got a bull rush, but you need more than a bull rush in the NFL to win on a regular basis in the pass rushing. You need another move. He doesn't have that yet. He still has shit to prove. Calvin says, hard to say. We haven't seen Love yet. Well, that's not what Packer fan would say. They'd say, did you see the second half of that Philadelphia game when he was tearing up that prevent defense? But you're right. They haven't seen him yet. And he's been sitting behind, like I said, running that practice squad. He's been learning the offense right there with them for 4 years, going into the fourth year. He should be fine. There should be no learning curve. He should come out week one and be what Love is going to be. There may be a small learning curve like anybody else going to a new team, but he's a pro. He's not a rookie. This isn't like Anthony Richardson starting here.
I don't want to take anything away from Lucas Van Ness either. I mean, obviously the kid's a beast. They call him the Hulk, right? He was the second, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was the second defensive end taken in the draft behind only Tyree Wilson. I could be wrong on that, but I think I'm right. And so obviously with, the second defensive end off the board in the first round, he better be good or he's a bust.
Right. I mean, the physical measurements on this kid are off the charts. I mean, I definitely don't want to undersell them because this is an NFC North show. And as much as I would want to be a homer, I mean, the physical traits are all there. I mean, he's this year's Trayvon Walker when it comes down to it. I think. I mean, the physical measurements are there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they call him Hercules for crying out loud. That's kind of scary.
He barely played run though in Iowa. He barely played against the run, and even though he wasn't technically a starter, even that has more to do with the tradition they have at Iowa of letting seniors play than his ability. But the kid is incredibly strong. You could see him pushing back offensive linemen all year long. He does, like you said, he's got limited pass rush moves, but the physical traits, and that's Green Bay's whole philosophy is, draft and develop. You don't see them pulling in high profile free agents. I mean, probably no one wants to go play in that antique stadium has part to do with it, but it's the Green Bay way to draft and develop. And I think this kid is a great fit for them. They've already got a formidable defense, and he's just going to make them better.
You like that?
No, we don't like that. So we're being realistic there, Van Ness. We're giving your boy some credit. You have every right. I mean, just like every other fan base and their first round picks. But I love how we're told as Lions fans that we got to calm down with Jahmyr Gibbs and calm down with Jack Campbell, calm down with Laporta, but yet everybody's selling all their draft picks as future Hall of Famers. So, you know, all of my first round draft picks are going to be sweet too, right? Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have 1,500 all-purpose yards. Yeah, and Jack Campbell's going to have over 100 tackles and have 5 interceptions. Yeah, and Sam Laporta is going to have 9 touchdowns because he was, you know, because we think a lot about him. I mean, come on, guys. We like our guys too. And here we are. So, Van Ness says that all of the Lions fans are scared of love. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, scared. I think I'm excited. I'm excited to see Aiden Hutchinson drop love on his head a few times every game. Did I lose you? I didn't lose you on that one, did I? What about James Houston? I think that Love's going to have to deal with James Houston.
I don't think anybody in Detroit, including the fans, are scared of Jordan Love at this point. Let's see, when we face him the first time, which I believe is early in the season. We get him in the first half. That's our only division game in the first half of the season for the Lions is in Green Bay. So right. We'll see by then. I really believe, as I've said before, that I think that first game against Chicago is going to be a big litmus test for this team, for Green Bay and for Chicago. Where are they stacking up with 2 young quarterbacks like that? Obviously, up and down the roster, Green Bay is better, but Chicago's going to have the home field advantage. Justin Fields in year 2 of the offensive system. He's now got DJ Moore. It's going to be a very interesting game week 1.
Yeah, and for real, and here, and to answer that with Van Ness, it's like, are Detroit Lion fans scared of Jordan Love? I was scared of Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
That's what I'll say. I was really scared of Aaron every time that Aaron Rodgers touched the ball. Like even at the end of the game that we beat you in Lambeau, I knew that if Jared Goff didn't get that first down on that 4th down, I mean, you knew it in your mind. The PTSOL was creeping in, wasn't it, Mike? You knew that we got the ball back. Aaron Rodgers was going to go right down the field, and they were going to win that game and go to the playoffs, just like in classic fashion.
I want to give you the lines on that Green Bay Chicago game in week 1 on September the 10th.
I got it up on the screen.
Green Bay favored by 2.5. The over/under is 44.5. I'm going to jump all over the under on that because 2 young quarterbacks, opening day, learning the offense, and it is a fact that more games go under the over/under in week 1 than any other week of the season.
On the under, I think the Green Bay is going to win week 1 for sure. And I think that they might win like going away. I think there's a lot of cockiness on the Bears side. And what people forget about the Green Bay Packers is there's not a lot of turnover there, guys. Like, I mean, they lost a couple guys in the secondary, but for the most part, they have a young defense that was pretty much there last year. And now they're putting more trust into the younger part of their defense. So Jordan Love's the only new part, right? But he is just as seasoned as Justin Fields is as far as knowing the offense. Like I said, he's been practicing behind there. So I don't think that the Packers have as much of a learning curve as the Chicago Bears do in this. So I think the Chicago Bears got to get a little bit of continuity. They need to play a little bit first, and I think they're going to get surprised week 1. I think they're going to get it put to them.
Well, the Packers also drafted 2 tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
So they got rookies at tight end. They lost Robert Tonyan. They lost Mercedes Lewis. So I think that's going to be, when you say learning curve, there's going to be a big learning curve there. Jordan Love getting on the same page at game speed in the regular season with these rookie tight ends. But one draft pick, or two draft picks actually, that Green Bay made in the later rounds, I really liked. Jaden Reed, the wide receiver from Michigan State, and Carl Brooks, the defensive tackle from Bowling Green, a guy that you and I looked at as a good fit for the Lions. We were really kind of hoping the Lions would snag this guy in the later rounds. But they moved up, of course, and took Broderick Martin in the third round, who essentially is the same player as Carl Brooks, but with Brad Holmes being able to pick gems from the later rounds, I trust it. But Carl
they got
Brooks,
their guy.
A couple of rookies that could have a big impact for the Green Bay Packers.
John Dorn chimes in right here and says Jordan Love's got to prove himself before anybody's going to be scared of him. Wow. John Dorn, you make such better comments when we don't see your face. It's like that's such a good comment. I love that.
John's usually got a good take in between the fluff.
Yeah, he does. He does. John's gotten better. John used to just come to the show with nonsense, and he's actually been studying up. He actually bought PFF, man. Congratulations to that for that, John. Van Ness says you have no idea what he's going to bring. Yeah, neither do you, Van Ness. You just assume that he's going to bring Hall of Fame stats. What if he's average or below average? You have no idea either. There's more of a chance of him being average or below average than for him to be good. You know, there's three things there. You got three categories. There's more of a chance of him being average or below average than being good. Maybe he is good. I mean, I don't know either, but I'm not going to be scared of him because you're leaving behind a Hall of Fame quarterback played there last year. Those are some gigantic shoes for him to fill. And even if he fills them halfway, you guys are going to run him out of town. If he's average, you will run him out of town, Van Ness. If he's average, because you guys have never dealt with average before.
Right. That's a great call out. Look what they did to Brett Favre. Look what they've done to Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah.
They have the Packers, and I'll admit I'm a little jealous. They only know winning. They only know successful franchises. And if their guys don't produce, like here in Detroit, if you produce 8-9 win seasons year in, year out, we would build statues of you.
That's right.
In our front yard. So I think your point is right on. That if he falters, those fans aren't even going to give him 2 years. If he doesn't get them to the playoffs, they're going to run him out of town as well. And we saw that. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Instead, they gave him a split contract. Pay him a little bit more money, keep him on for a couple of years. Let's see if this kid can do it in the regular season like he does it in practice. So that's a great call out, Russ.
Van Ness comes and says Rodgers did this to himself. Did he? Because here's the thing, and you guys can hash this up with your GM, Gouda man, the Gouda man. Yeah. But last year, they traded Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos for 3 first-round picks. The Packers could have got that deal. They probably could have gotten more. But you wanted to run it back after the MVP season. You did. You wanted to cave in for all of the drama. Did Rodgers do it to himself? No. That's your GM's fault, guy. That's his job, is to keep all of the divas and everybody under control and under the contract. Gutekunst is the one that let Rodgers run the system. It's his fault. Blame your GM.
Besides that, in 2021, the Packers won 13 games. Were they that good of a 13? No, they weren't that good. And they got exposed in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers was that good. He's the one that got them to 13 wins. It wasn't Matt LaFleur. It wasn't Rashawn Gary. It wasn't those guys. It was Aaron Rodgers that got them to 13 wins. And when he faltered and slipped a little in 2022, you run him right out the door just like he did Brett Favre.
Yep, because he couldn't back up his own conviction, because he was correct to draft Jordan Love. He was. Rodgers was coming off a pretty down 3 years where he was showing some regression. And then this MVP season came out of nowhere. Like, it was like, whoa, okay. We thought Jordan Love was going to take over, but, we still have a quarterback that's playing at a Hall of Fame level, all pro level. I mean, did he regress last year? Yeah, but he also lost his best offensive weapon. So,
yeah.
I mean,
you don't lose to Adams and get better.
But the point to all of this, what might seem like mindless babbling, is that you don't know what Jordan Love is. And that should scare you more than it makes you happy, because to expect that kind of greatness to come out, I mean, you guys are already setting yourself up for disappointment. I mean, even if the guy's good, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. I mean, you'll be in the Jared Goff category. I kind of like him. I don't know.
I think there is some validity to that viewer's comment, though, about Lions fans being scared of Jordan Love. I'll admit, if the kid comes out and he's dynamite, that's scary to me. I mean, I'm ready for the Packers to descend. And if he is able to pick up where Aaron Rodgers left off, yeah, that's a scary proposition.
John Dorn comes in here and said, I would be very disappointed if Love is below average. He's going to have a 4th year, and, he should know the playbook. Very, very good. And then he got Watson, Torrey, and Dobbs. I mean, I think Dobbs is a you thing, Dorn. I think Dobbs is okay. He's all right. He didn't grade out very well for talking about that PFF thing. All of the receivers that you made fun of on Detroit are better than Dobbs. So,
Watson, Torrey, and Dobbs sounds like a law firm.
Right, yeah. Watson. I mean, Watson, you found that Watson played very good. The PFF backed it up, all of that. And you can't live and die by PFF, but you did use that against me as our receivers being trash when Dobbs wasn't a good receiver at all. According to PFF, he was down in like the 50s and in the 40s on some of the stuff. Curtis Healy says, why can't the Packers go through 10 years of miserable QBs? It's only fair to the rest of the division. I mean, life isn't fair, Curtis. I mean, if Jordan Love is good, Jordan Love is good. And there's nothing we can do about it. We can't call the league office and say, wow, how do you let them just keep having good quarterbacks? I mean, it doesn't work like that. We're all scared that they could have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. That is actually a pretty scary notion to think that they actually have a chance to pull that off, even if it's a small chance. I mean, think about that, Mike. Like, that would be crazy.
Well, they've shown that they have a sharp acumen for drafting quarterbacks and recognizing good quarterback play. And they moved up in the draft to draft Jordan Love. So, yeah, and they pushed Aaron Rodgers out the door to get him on the field. So they definitely know something.
Right.
And John, speaking of John Dorn, I know that John Dorn is not a big proponent of Jameson Williams. He thinks Jameson Williams is a bust. He thinks he's a toothpick. And I hate to switch topics on you here, but didn't you say, Russ, that you're going to Baltimore to the Ravens game against the Lions?
I am. I'm taking my son. That's our away game this year.
That is going to be Jameson Williams' first game back from the suspension. So I want to ask you, Russ.
That's by design.
What are you expecting JMO to do in the season, on a shortened season? Are you expecting electricity or mediocrity?
Okay, I'm gonna answer this because I just listened yesterday to a great clip from Pride of Detroit that had one of Jamison Williams wide receiver trainers. Like they have a wide receiver like factory school that they've been going to, that like Jamar Chase went to it, Jefferson, all the Tyreek Hill, all the big receivers go to this school that have like elite abilities because they want to teach them how to, get open in the NFL. And they've been producing obviously some really good receivers, and they had nothing but glowing things to say about Jameson, and especially his character. They said anybody that is worried about his character, that it's a waste of time. He made a mistake, let him make the mistake, but he's going to come in, from what he's saying, in his preparation. He was the only wide receiver out of all the schools that actually when they get done doing all this training, they get tape of themselves, right? So they get to watch themselves and get better. He was the only wide receiver to actually ask for other wide receivers' tape and want to learn from the way that other wide receivers were doing it. So if you have a work ethic thing or an issue with Jamison Williams, you don't have to worry about that. This guy wants to be the greatest wide receiver in the league, and he's going to come in. I'm going to preface that. I preface that by saying he is going to come in week 7 and he is going to kill the Baltimore Ravens. 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards.
Wow.
I'm calling it right now, right here on the show. I want you to record it. I'll say it again. Jamison Williams' debut game, he will have 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards receivings against the Ravens. And I'm going to be there. My son is going to be there.
Are we sure, though, Russ, that he didn't request those other wide receiver tapes so that he could make prop bets through the year?
Stop playing with us.
Yeah, the odds are, yeah. He'll never be able to live that down. I do know that there are some other, the accusations that are going to be coming out here soon, right? Don't they have another wave that's about ready to hit? I saw something.
And I did hear a rumor that there is another Detroit Lion on that list.
Yeah, but I also heard that name we might not even know, that it's not somebody that was prevalent, but not that matters. You don't want it tied to your organization at all, but it is what it is.
Russ, I got to jump off. Can I plug the show before I go?
Yep. Let me get the clip up and go ahead.
It's the NFC North Open mic every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All 4 fan bases in there talking smack, talking serious football analysis. Come and join us, won't you? We're broadcasting live into Facebook every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's the NFC North Open mic. Take care, my friend.
Take care. Thank you to Main Event Mike. It's always nice having this conversation with you in the morning. I mean, it's so cool how something like this, like the way that this all started years ago, was we would have these conversations in the morning right about this time. He's at his job and he's doing his thing, and he would call me up and we would talk football. And then at one point in time, we're like, we should be recording these conversations because we get some good nuggets in here. We're avid football fans. We love it. We love doing this thing. And we love talking with other people that love football, during the off season. Drop a lot Williams. Okay. Dorn, you don't believe in Williams, but you believe in Dobbs. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I mean, you love the guys that are on your team and you hate the guys that are on the other team. But I tell you what, Jameson's got a lot of speed that you're going to have to deal with. And the kid is working on his craft right now. So he is going to be a better wide receiver than he was last year. I mean, just through natural progression, just like a lot of the 2nd and 3rd year players that you got on your team. I mean, whether you're a Lions fan, whether you're a Packer fan or a Bear fan or a Viking fan, you're looking at your team. You're looking at all your draft picks. You're selling your draft picks. Gotta steal. Wait till you see what the 7th round guy can do. Wait till you see. He's going to be an all-pro. My GM got all the steals, right? And we don't know. We just run our mouths, right? Jason says, I believe he has a chip on his shoulder and he wants to prove that he was worth the wait and he's going to come out killing it. I believe in that. I do believe that. I've been looking at every nugget that I can find on the internet, on Jameson Williams interviews, other people talking about questions and characters. I'm not going to have to worry about this kid being a knucklehead for his entire career. I mean, the first year was an injury. That wasn't his fault. He was recovering from an ACL and he got to fully recover. I mean, they didn't push him back. So when he does come back, he's fully ready to come back. So whether you like it or not, or however you want to see it, he's going to make really his debut. I mean, he was only out for a handful of plays last year. I mean, they had wide receivers in front of him. I mean, you have to earn your spot on the Detroit Lions. We got good wide receivers. Khalif Raymond's a good wide receiver. Josh Reynolds is a good wide receiver. Marvin Jones is a good wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown's the best wide receiver in the North, according to PFF. A very close second is Justin Jefferson. And you guys can argue that. I mean, Justin Jefferson's a better wide receiver from the pure aspect, but from playing the wide receiver position, Amon-Ra St. Brown has a lot of intangibles that make him good, that are outside. Not when he doesn't even have the ball in his hand. With him blocking, he's the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL, and he's got great hands and he can get open. So, I like it. I like it. Drop a lot Williams right there. It's in good hand. If Williams does get hurt in that championship game, does he go top 5? Yes, he's definitely 100% the top wide receiver taken in that draft. There was no doubt about it going into the championship game that he was the best wide receiver. And the fact that he was taken at 12, even with the injury, that tells you you trade up, you want to get that guy. You know, obviously the Lions were looking for the types of players that had abilities that you can't teach. And you can't teach, low 4.2 speed. It's next level when you see that from him and Gibbs. Him and Gibbs are the fastest at their position. They'll be arguably the fastest at their position. I mean, for years to come. Van Ness says that, I'll say this, Russ, Mike, and John, and Curtis, and others, you are fun to hang out with. Hey, we love hanging out with you too. We love a little bit of trash talking. We keep it real. We don't let people come in with nonsense and stuff. Ravens defense will shut down the Lions offense. Well, that remains to be seen. Nobody was able to do it last year. The top 5 offense last year. I mean, you could say that. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. If anybody can play defense, it's the Baltimore Ravens. That dude, I tell you what, Harbaugh can coach a team. That's one of the greatest coaches of our era. And I'll tell you what, when you have a healthy Lamar Jackson, I mean, I know that everybody makes fun of it. Oh, I don't want Lamar Jackson here because, he's going to get injured. Maybe he will get injured. But I'll tell you what, when he's not injured, you got to deal with that. Tyler says the Lions are winning the Super Bowl. Our Lions winning the Super Bowl. Our Lions winning in the Super Bowl. So here's the thing about the NFC. I think the Lions have a chance to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But I also believe that there's 10 other teams in the NFC that could say the same thing. The NFC is kind of wide open. I mean, if you're looking at Philadelphia being the best team, I mean, what's the question there? Do you believe in Jalen Hurts? I mean, he had a good season. I mean, is it going to continue? Is he going to do that again? And then you got the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they got a championship defense. They've had a championship defense for the last 6 years. I mean, can you trust San Francisco to go all the way? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Brock Purdy? I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, could I count on the Lions to go to the Super Bowl? No, they've never won a playoff game. They've never won the North. I mean, how can you trust it? I look at it with my eyes, and I think that the Lions could go to the Super Bowl. I think the roster's built to where they could go to the Super Bowl. But are they going to show up and be the Lions? I've watched this team for the whole time too, and you're waiting for the rug to be pulled out from underneath you. And who else you got? The Packers. The Packers could be in that conversation. If Jordan Love's really good, the Packers are going to be really good. They had a good defense. I don't think that their defense is going to be 21st ranked as they were at PFF. They got these first round picks they put on that defense. It's a scary defense if they get it together when you think of all that talent that's on there. You got a bunch of young teams. The New York Giants could be good. Even the Atlanta Falcons could be good. Seattle, Carolina. I mean, there's a lot of these just kind of these NFC. If you make it into playoffs, 1-7 on the NFC side, you have a shot to go to the Super Bowl. You do. A playoff team. There's no Kansas City. There's no Cincinnati. These Baltimore. There's these these teams. Like, gosh, if they were in my division, I wouldn't want to play these teams twice. Thank you, John. Thank you. I appreciate you watching the show. I appreciate everybody on here. I would really appreciate it if you went and, to the Detroit Lions Villain Squad or the NFC North main event and follow those pages, because we do this every day. Rob says morning. Morning, guys, from work. Good morning, Rob, from work. Thank you for watching. 70 days until the season starts. Thank you, Rob. I'm anticipating it, man. We're going to make it through this lull of the off season. And yeah. John St. Brown wants his money.
By the power of Ra.
There's
By the power of Ra.
He will. And St. Brown will deserve his money. But the thing is Brad Holmes, he understands how these bags work. And he understands when these bags are going to pop up. So I think they're going to deal with whatever this Jonah Jackson. If they're going to repay Jonah Jackson, I don't know if they're going to re-up him at the left guard. But then I would believe that Amon-Ra would be the next one to get paid. We got $70 million next year. I don't think we're going to be going outside the organization much at all. I think we're going to be re-signing our own guys for the next 3-4 years. You got Amon-Ra. You're going to be re-signing Penei Sewell. You'll be re-signing Aiden Hutchinson probably in 2 years. You want to keep these guys around, man. And Brad Holmes has proven that he can pick guys in the late rounds. So you can get good quality guys that are going to fill your roster out in the late rounds. He's been doing a great job with that. I mean, you got undersold guys. So yes, you're right, John. I'll give you that. The St. Brown,
by the power of Ra,
he will want his money. But you got to pay your good players. You want to pay your good players. Calvin says, imagine Raymond, Jamo, and Gibbs on the field at the same time when gave 7 hits. Yeah, that's a lot of speed, man. That's speed. That is a lot of speed. And I love that you called out Khalif Raymond. This dude is an undersold blue chipper MVP, baby. I'm telling you, I love me some Khalif Raymond. He may not put it up in the stat lines, but what he does is all of his catches, if you look at all of his productions, it's all like third down, where he's moving the chains. They counted on Khalif Raymond on a lot of big plays last year that like moved the chains that were like game-winning plays. And I think that that's important. Like, I mean, are you the same person when the game's on the line, when all the pressures, or do you tighten up and you maybe try to do too much? It's how you get into trouble. But Khalif Raymond is solid, and he's going to be a big part while JMO is absent, Calvin. I that's what I think is he's going to be a big part of that. He's going to be doing a lot of that stuff that JMO would have been doing. Rob chimes in and says, what do you think of the new kickoff return rule? I think it's unnecessary. Yeah, we could get it. We got into that a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I think that the kick returns are like some of the most exciting plays, but they're making safety a priority, man. Like, and I don't have an issue with that either. I wish that they could keep the game as physical as possible, but I do want them to make sure that they keep the players safe, because you can't have a bunch of people 20 years after they're done with their career going crazy, not remembering who they are. I mean, CTE is a real thing, guys. They found us out. This isn't about being soft or, the masculinity thing here. This is about, 20 years down the road, like I'm a grandparent now, that stuff is important. You want to be able to remember who you are. I mean, even though you're having some good memories. So that's my thoughts on that. Thank you for the comment, Rob. John Dorn coming back in. There are very fast wide receivers that never make it in the NFL. Yeah, but not all the fast wide receivers also have the combination of being able to run the routes and have an understanding of football. I mean, I don't know if you know this about Jamison Williams, John Dorn, but he was also a gunner for Alabama. The guy plays special teams. He's a football player. Like, he loves just getting out there in any way possible. So if he couldn't make the team as a wide receiver, he would aim to play anywhere he could. And those are the type of guys that you want on your team, even though he got in trouble for gambling. It sucks. But if that's the only problem that you can point out, is that our third wide receiver is going to be out for 3 or for 6 weeks, I'm good with that, because there's a lot of other good stuff. Tina, it's great to have you back. I'm glad that you are back. Thank you for watching the show. Man, I love you guys coming in here with all these comments. I haven't even got a chance to get, I love it. Packers held the Lions to 15 points the first game and 20 points the second. Goff don't play well against the Packers, and the Lions only good at running against the Packers' weak run defense. Yeah, that's going to be a problem for you, John. Do you think that's going to change because of Goff? Goff still knows how to hand the ball off to the running backs. And our line and our offensive line is really, really good. And they can push people out of the way. Even your badass defensive line, they'll push them right out of the way. That's why David Montgomery is going to tear you guys up this year. David Montgomery leading the league in missed tackle rate. The only problem isn't when he was playing for Chicago, he was getting that first missed tackle in the backfield. Well, the Lions offensive line allowed 4 yards before contact with their running backs. What that means is if you put a very, very talented running back that can make guys miss on the second and third level, that's a dangerous combination. It's something we didn't have last year, other than in spurts. DeAndre Swift was a game breaker, but he just didn't play enough. And Jahmyr Gibbs is a lot faster than DeAndre Swift. So you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems stopping our run, John Dorn. I would just hope that you could, if I were a Packer fan, you want to hope that Jordan Love is good enough to keep up and a track meet, because the Lions are better on offense than they were last year. But you did play pretty good defense. But I love talking with you, Dorn, especially when I don't have to see you. Curtis says, Ben Johnson doesn't come back, I don't think we're talking playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah. That could be very well true. I mean, but that speaks to the culture, doesn't it, Curtis? The culture change. I mean, when was the last time that you can remember, besides the last 2 years, of players that want to come to Detroit for like less money. I mean, Ben Johnson could be the head coach right now. He could have taken the Carolina Panthers job. He could have taken the Arizona Cardinals job, but he chose to stay in Detroit because he knows that's his best chance of success, that he was part of something that was bigger than he is. So I love that you give a lot of credit to Ben Johnson, but I really believe it's like a five-headed monster there. I mean, you got a bunch of coaches that were players that are on the same page with the direction that they see. And we'll find out. We'll find out if it's going to come to fruition over the next few years. But I think that they've built a monster that is going to compete, that isn't just this year. It's going to be sustained, which is something that we haven't had in Detroit since the 90s. So that's fun to think about. Rob says at John Dorn, but we lost both games. That's true. That's true. John likes to pump up. I mean, he's living in the past a little bit. Tina says that she loves Goff. I love Goff too. John Dorn says that Jameson Williams only had one good season in college, and so far he's proven me right that he's a bust. Okay, well, he hasn't played yet, John. Romeo Doubs is a bust too. And you love him. He's a 4th-round pick, but he's a bust. And that's ridiculous for me to say that. I don't believe that he's a bust. I believe that he hasn't played enough yet for me to make a decision on your player yet. Just like it's foolish for you to make a decision on Jameson Williams because he hasn't played yet. Tina says, I hope that the Lions don't screw up again this year. So that brings me to that spot right here, John. And you know that John knows about this part too. And that is PTSOL. That's a registered trademark by the Main Event 365, all rights reserved. PTSOL, post-traumatic same old Lions. And we feel it, John, because I'm sending this one out. This is for Tina because we don't want to screw it up. But that feeling that you have about screwing up is PTSOL. It's that feeling that we had last year in Lambeau Field on that 4th and 2, that if Goff were not to make that throw to DJ Shark and end the game right there, the PTSOL in you knows that Aaron Rodgers would have marched right down the field and scored that touchdown, right? You know, that's PTSOL, knowing that you're going to steal defeat from the jaws of victory, right? That's PTSOL, knowing that the referees just gave Aaron Rodgers another down, and then he throws a Hail Mary and somehow miraculously wins the game. The feeling that you had before that play is PTSOL. When Justin Tucker goes to kick an NFL record field goal, the PTSOL sits in and says, he's going to break the field goal record and my team gets to lose. That's the feeling. But I think that curse was broken last year because on 4 or 5 different occasions, I was waiting for the collapse to happen and it didn't. It didn't. The collapse didn't happen. They had the players on defense to mess your day up. That they haven't had that. They haven't had that. The Lions running back are garbage. Oh, wow. All right. I love the trolling. I mean, and he can say that. John Dorn, you can say that. You can say the Lions running backs are garbage when your running backs are A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. Curtis says, amen, brother. Montgomery's too slow. Tina says Aaron Rodgers sucks, but I'll tell you what, I'm so glad that he's not in this division anymore. I mean, come on. I mean, you got to be happy. If you're a fan of any of the other 3 teams, you have to be happy that Aaron Rodgers is gone. Now, happy for how long? That remains to be seen, because if Jordan Love is good, we're going to wish Aaron Rodgers was back. Oh, Van Ness, we should welcome Tina as a Packers fan. She hates us so bad. Aaron. Curtis Healy says Peyton Manning and Jeff Daniels, whiskey pool, broke the curse last year. Is there something to be said about that? Does Peyton Manning have the power?
It's my quarterback.
I don't know.
It's my quarterback.
Did he break the curse? I mean, I would love to know what it feels like to have consecutive winning seasons. I would love to win double digit. What does that feel like? As a Packer fan, you were feeling that all the time. Oh, man, I was excited. You know, yesterday, just to talk some football today, I was excited. Yesterday was so much fun. I got to hold my granddaughter for the first time. And gosh, what a great feeling that is. What a great feeling that is. And no matter what team you're rooting for, family comes first. I mean, that's just what it is. No, you got to love your family. Football's a great way to spend time with your family, though. I mean, my son and I just making the trip last year to Minnesota together, and watching us lose that game. But it was just so much fun driving all the way there. We stayed in an Airbnb, watched the game. So we're gonna make sure that we try to see every single stadium before I die. And this year it's going to be Baltimore, Week 7. Jameson Williams making his debut. It's going to make me excited. And I sure hope that John Dorn isn't right. I don't want Jameson Williams to be a bust. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of wide receiver busts in Detroit. We already had to go through Mike Williams, Charles Rogers. I mean, even, oh my gosh, I'm just sick of it. And then you get a great wide receiver like Calvin Johnson in here, and you don't have a general manager that can manage cap, get enough talent. I mean, you can't win with three guys. Oh, thank you for all the congratulations on my granddaughter. And speaking of which, I got to go spend time with my autistic 4-year-old, and I'm going to throw a little shout out to her. The WTH is Autism. They're back on our show right now. They're helping us out. We're helping them out, but we want to throw awareness out there. My son is 4 years old, and I think that autism is the most misunderstood. I couldn't even believe some of the things that we found out about autism, but WTHisautism.com is a great resource for that, to go find out about it. It's not a disease. People have been treating it like it's like you could catch autism or something like that. And it's not even like that. It's just the way that you learn. It's just a operating system, PC versus Mac, yin and yang. People just learn differently. They process information differently. And they're finding out so many great things about autism that, I'm just going to shout it from the rooftops. My wife's going to be doing a podcast. I'll let you know when that is, and I won't take up too much of your time on the football podcast with that, but I am going to let you know about when it's going to happen. But I really appreciate everybody for listening. And this is a football talk with Russell Wayne, NFC North talk. It's off-season edition. All 4 teams are open. And let's see. All right. Jeremy has an autistic. It's a family, isn't it? Having children with autism, you hang around a bunch of people that have, and you get to meet these good people. Roy Williams was a bust, but we do this each and every weekday. I think I'm going to take out the Monday morning one, and we're just going to go in the evening with the NFC North open mic. So Mondays will be in the evening, and then the other 4 days we're here. We're here 11 a.m. Eastern. Anything you want to talk about too, you can end up throwing it up in the comments. And even after, sorry about that. Even after the show goes off, go ahead and throw your comments. If there's anything that you guys want to hit and talk about tomorrow, feel free. I'm up to talk about football, about anything. But for me, I'm Russell Wayne. We are go follow us. Go follow Detroit Lions News. Bill the Packer fan if you're a Packer fan. Mike the Bear fan if you're a Bear fan. Detroit Lions Villain Squad. If you're Detroit, you're going Detroit to the Super Bowl. Follow us, Detroit Lions Villain Squad. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's how we reach people. God bless you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. One pride.
Like that!